adaptation, desire, compassion. Change will be better than you think. Be certain of where you place your passion. Tread a little more tenderly. Welcome to 108 Gates, where we're definitely feeling the deep shift and changes that are occurring. I only know of a few of you interested in the astrology of things that are happening. On the side again. This came in on the side again. It came in on the side a few readings ago. Or is it upside down? Either way, it wasn't the correct way. It should be that way. Like hanged man card, hanged woman card, hanged being card. On its side, it wants to shift. Okay, so we're going to put it there for now. It's like a counter. It feels like a counter. The shift and changes that are available to us is quite mind-boggling. At the same time, being an alchemist, an quantum energy alchemist, the available forces, the available opportunities, the available intricacies of the energies is really exciting. And it's not about this is where it's a desire. Be certain of where you place your passion. This is not about the wealth of money necessarily. It's not the wealth of tangible objects, but the wealth that you can be increasing within self is phenomenal. The wealth that's available to be received, that's available to be acknowledged, it feels massive. It feels just out of reach, but not also. So it depends on how much you are going to apply yourself to receiving it. For example, you have a project to do, or you have something to do, and you just keep putting it off. Like I'm okay. So if we're teaching ourselves good habits, and just as a tangible idea that I can translate, or I can communicate, she's saying, trying to communicate easily. If we are trying to be more organised in our home, for example, and we tend to, because not everyone's the same, sometimes it's the other way, sometimes people are really particular in where things go, and we tend to just come in, drop our bags, or we don't keep on top of staying organised, or you have filing, or you do your own taxes, and all your taxes end up being done depending on which country you're in. So here we'd be doing it January. I think some countries you do it in April. Well, you know where you are, you know if you're doing your own taxes or not. This is just an example. So instead of actually just organising yourself in a way that every month you have those documents ready for you to work with in January, or you work on them periodically throughout the year, it comes to tax time and then it's like, oh my gosh, what have I done? I've got all this stuff, I don't know which way to start, I don't know where to go, overwhelm, high alert. So instead of doing that, it's getting used to placing the correct paper, that a bill comes in, a statement comes in, an invoice comes in, whatever that is, and you place it in the correct space, in the correct month, in the correct ingoing or outgoing kind of on your spreadsheet, being really meticulous about being organised. The more you can do that, the more you're able to do that, the more you're able to utilise that, the more things are going to become easier. That's just an example. There's lots and lots of examples of doing it, such as you go into the kitchen, and I've never been one to use dishwashers. I don't get them, I don't understand them, don't really need to. Don't judge. If you use them, then great, because usually people who use dishwashers, they usually have a system, they usually have a way of like, right, it has to be full to this point, then we put the washer on, everything goes out. You have your own routine. I'm saying I don't have that routine. I don't understand that routine. So it's about you finding your own routines to make sure your home, your office space, your working space, your mind, your environment is to scratch. It's literally clear of any clutter. It's clear of things that you don't need. Just cluttering up your space. Have a look around. So when I work with feng shui clients, because I do feng shui too, it's about if you've got those things that you need clearing out, but you don't always want, you're kind of holding on to, and you don't need to, you don't know if it's actually beneficial for you to keep it or not. I always suggest you usually put it by the front door. So therefore you haven't got the commitment to it going to a charity shop. You haven't got the commitment to it having left the home or anything like that. But at the same time, you kind of, if it needs to come back, you'll feel the object coming back and finding its place in your home. If it needs to go, you'll feel that you're ready to let it go, or you can let it go. When something else is beneficial to someone else and you've let go of it, and it's clearing space from your own space that you could be utilising for someone else, it's a win-win situation. So this is happening in your emotions and in your mind and in your energy fields, in your auric fields, in your chakras. It's happening. I don't need to be holding on to this fear anymore. It served a purpose. It helped me get through that situation. That fear kept me on hyper alert. But now I don't need to be on hyper alert in that same context, in this position. I've moved on from that. Acknowledging you've moved on for it. I don't need this anymore. It's not that you're giving this out to someone else, but you are discarding it from your own vessel. You're discarding it from the home of your inner emotional being. You're discarding it from your body. You're not embodying that fear anymore, but you have to put the effort in to allow the fear to feel safe to go. I know that sounds counterintuitive. It's like, well, how can fear feel safe to go? The fear needs to feel as though it can be eased. The fear needs to feel that the threat is no longer there. It's been coming up in the past few readings. So if you're new to the channel, you might want to check out the last, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 readings and see how deep you want to go into it. But it's been coming up quite a bit about, look at the titles, they've probably given indications, see where you're drawn to. It's about not just intellectually seeing it and understanding it and then just spouting it off word by, like, do you know what I mean, like verbatim, just saying the same thing over and over again. Like, yes, we can do that. Practically, how does that look? Practically, what does it feel like? Practically, what does that entail? It's not going to be an easy process. We literally have it's absolutely incredible, the alignments that are happening right now. And we've got eclipses coming up, so that's even more stretchy and breaky and tangible energies that literally are going to be felt. You either flow with it or you flow against the tide. Either way, it's going to happen regardless of what we want to be doing or not doing. So why not just jump on that horse and gallop along with it, because it's going to ride anyway. We've got this rodeo coming up. It depends on how we approach it. Desire, be certain of where you place your passion. Tread a little bit more tenderly. Change will be better than you think. Some changes are going to be so difficult for some people. It's going to be a mix of making sure you're protecting your own energy, making sure you have that hermit mode appropriately, and also making sure that you're checking in with and available to people who you know sometimes can be vulnerable at this time. It could be children, it could be partner, it could be, I don't know, a certain colleague, it could be anyone. You'll know who it is. Not those people that just come in to suck energy and just be energy vampires. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those ones that genuinely, it may be in your line of work, that you're in a particular line of work, and that you know there's certain people that need that support and help. So we've got the moon, and there's like looking up in awe, looking at the planetary alignment, looking at that, what is going on here. It is going to feel like that for a lot of people. it's going to feel like that, but at the same time, knowing now what's going to be coming up, knowing now what's happening, knowing now what's going to be pushed and shoved and manhandled, I want to say. Your emotions, your energies are going to feel as though they're manhandling you. And when I say manhandle, I'm not being politically incorrect. I mean like that physical, tangible. You're going to be shook to the bone with some things. Let it be shook. Let it be shaken. Make sure your home and your environment and wherever you're working, it's clear, it's clutter-free, it's succinct. So if you do dip, that you have certain things, like do you have certain things that make you feel good? Are you a kind of person that always has fresh flowers picked from the garden? I don't know. Do you have certain creams around you? So, for example, sometimes I always have certain hand creams that have particular smells. It's a quick way of if there's needing a boost, or you need some calming or whatever it is. It's literally, especially if I'm at one particular job, it's easy for me to carry it in a little tub. Got it with me, so if I'm feeling like, right, I just need to calm down a bit because I'm feeling myself on the treadmill, literally get some cream, put it on, waft it in front of your nose, and that aromatherapy in a different way, it just comes to you and supports you. Find those little things that work. Do you need a pick-me-up? Do you go for a healthy snack? Do you have healthy snacks on you? Do you have something that just gives you that nice little boost of energy, that's a slow burning boost of energy? Or do you go for a bar of chocolate and then you're just giving yourself a sugar rush on top of the overwhelm and adrenaline, things like that? Are you getting enough exercise? For those of us who are on one particular part of the planet, are you ready for winter? Do you know when you're feeling as though you're going to be stretched? In that, it could be that some people love winter and love hibernating, but they struggle in the summer. Some people struggle in the winter. It depends on who you are, what you are. The point is, it's about you long term, having that environment that supports you long term. You have every nourishing food that's your power food. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's needs are different at different times of the year, at different times of the day, different times of the cycles, different ages, things like that. So really look into the details of yourself. I'm going to say that again. Look into the details of yourself. Not comparing so-and-so's doing this, so-and-so's doing that. And even though we know this, intellectually we know this, that it's not good for us, it's not helpful to us, but how much do we actually do it on a energetic and psychological and conscious level? And even when we're doing it, how deep can we go? How much more deeper can we go? And then as you're doing that, you might find that there's certain aspects that you've picked up from that person, so subconsciously, unconsciously, intentionally, unintentionally. That isn't the point. The point is there. What are you going to do about it? If there's something not there that you need, what are you going to do about it? It's as simple as that. It's very practical, very to the point. Love its energy. I think it's got a lot to do with North Node in Aries as well. So, a node in Aries. That flip-floppy feeling. Right, desire. So adaptation. Are you adapting? Now we've gone to the next one. Desire. Be certain of where you place your passion. 10 of Swords. Are you hurting yourself because you're not actually being truthful with what your desire is? Are you hurting yourself because you're denying yourself something? You are reprimanding yourself for needing something. It may be that you grew up in a particular place, in a particular way, with a particular belief drummed into you, that if you want this, or if you do this, or if you are drawn to this, there's something wrong with you. Pulling back from that, without judgment, without blame, without whatever else. There's just no time. There's no time or space for it. There's just no need, because that is also another thing that's going to pull you down. Keep it light, keep it fluffy, keep it up, up, up. No blaming others. When you're looking at these things, it's kind of like, this is the situation, this is the person, that's the trigger. That's the stimulus, that's the response, that's the reaction, that's the outcome. Simple as 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is equaling mayhem. What needs to be subtracted, what needs to be taken out, what needs to be removed, what needs to be added, what needs to be multiplied. Like I say, it's all physics and maths. Obviously we've got biology and chemistry in there too, but essentially when you're working with it at an alchemy level, it's physics and math. Some things are not happening because of this. This is a really great energy. So you've got these two here look a bit shocked, shall we say, a bit confused, a bit in awe, but they don't really, do they? They're kind of looking. They're not used to seeing what they're seeing at that moment. So this is this part here now of like, there's certain aspects of you that you may not have been aware of, that you may not have actually contemplated were possible to have come alive. They're going to be coming alive if you allow them to. If you squeeze yourself into that bottle, into that box, into that corner, into that cupboard, into that pigeonhole any longer and don't let yourself breathe, you can't do the actions that are required. You need to know which actions to stop and which actions to do. 2 of Wands, different actions, some habits to be let go of, some habits to be brought in. This is not a down the line kind of feeling. This is immediate. If immediate change is not happening, you're going to miss the boat for some things. And if you think about some of these changes now that are happening, they're literally like 200 and odd years each cycle. So we're never going to be at some point again for another 200 and odd years. When you think of it like that, you're going to want to make these changes now. What are you waiting for? Have you been waiting for others to catch up with you? Have you been waiting for someone else to put in their effort, their 2 pence, their investment, and you're still waiting for their investment, still waiting for their investment? How long is it going to take for you to understand they might not be ready to invest? They might not be the one to invest in you. You might need to move along. Empress, we were looking for her yesterday. Step up. Step up to in your feminine energy. Step up in your feminine alertness, your feminine awareness of what is going on, in what you need, what you require to empower yourself. And how are you going to do that? I literally made sure I had a nice cup of tea beside me today because I knew this was going to be quite a lengthy and deep reading. So apologies, but my throat is wanting to push out so much communication of this energy. So Knight of Swords, getting your masculine energies aligned with discerning the difference between what you do want and what you don't want. It literally feels like you're going in there to cut out what's not required, to make space for what is required. Cut out what you keep holding on to, thinking, I might need this later, I might need this later. Really, will you? Really, will you? Like I said, you don't have to throw it away. Put it by the front door with the intention of letting the object decide, letting yourself feel, right, it's there, it can go or it can stay. There's no commitment either way. Take out the fear, take out the scarcity and holding on to it, and take out the fear of it going and then not being able to retrieve it back. Make it neutral, put it into neutral space. Interesting. Magician, be magic. Be magic in your own environment. Be magic with your stuff. Be magic in your emotions. Be magic in your approach to things, as if by magic. Some people say that as if by magic. Oh, well, you just got that. No, I didn't just get it. I worked for it. I focused on it. I was desiring it in a healthy way, not from a grasping way. I allowed it to come to me. I open my heart and open my mind with faith and trust to allow it to know I'm right here. Can you feel me? Can you sense me? I'm ready to receive. So when these energies are coming in, this is when I do get tempted to do the zodiac sign readings. So I don't do them very often, just because I feel when you're doing them, well, as a reader doing them, sometimes it just feels like the messages are monotonous, and I don't want to be just doing monotonous readings. So basically, this is here for us all as a collective to move forward or take what you need and let go of the rest of the bigger energies. But right now, this is so big, I really feel like you can get your chart, and we may benefit from doing zodiac readings for this time period that's coming up, for this I don't know, month or so, next 3 months, or just a general reading. I'll just do a general reading possibly. Let me know what you think, because like I've spoken with some people, I don't tend to be drawn to doing those for a particular reason. Right now it's we need to have that reflection, cosmic mirror, there we go. We need to have that deep dive, and it's not just about if you're a certain zodiac sign. I literally encourage you to have a look at your chart and understand where the different signs, where the different energies are in your natal chart, so that you can literally like kind of compare to where it is now and see where the conflict is, see where the wealth is, see where your ability to utilize these energies coming up is. Because for someone it may be in a hindrance, in a hindering space, but for someone else it may be that they could just catapult. Because right now, cardinal signs, you're getting a boost. You're getting a boost of energy that other people aren't going to be getting. So you may be feeling like someone's shoving you from behind, from in a different way. It's all great and it works for you in the way you need it to, because that's the whole point of it going through the chart. The point is, how are you going to utilize it for you? How deep do you know your chart? How deeply do you know yourself? How deeply do you want to know yourself? Where are you able to be more compassionate with yourself, so you can get more in touch with the desires? When you know how far you are from your desire, you can adapt, you can shift and change, trusting that the change for you is great, trusting that it's there for you to benefit from. So for now, I think all that's left for me to say is enjoy this. Be ready, because it's gonna be a ride. It's gonna be a hoot. Get on that bull and let's ride this rodeo. Well, the horse, and ride the rodeo. Anyway, for now, peace and love.